Previously on the advent of cyber. Santa's team have done well so far. The elves blue and red combined have been securing everything technological all around. The bandit Yeti, unable to hack a thing, decided to go for eldritch magic as a last resort and trapped Alf McSkitty in a video game. Only by winning the unwinnable game shall your dear Alf McSkitty be reclaimed. Alf McRed stood up from his chair and said to the others, "If we can't win it, we'll hack it." Where am I? I'm trapped. Why is my name Alf McAlf? Who did this to me? Change the value to 1337, hit return, and then I'm going to press on here and put 1337 and hit enter. It says, "You got it, but how? What kind of dark magic is?" "Why are you out of the prison? Did the guard fall asleep again?" Change our HP value to 1337. We're taking all the snowball shots and none of our health is going down. "That's impossible! This game was designed to be unwinnable." Alright, no need to be rude. I'll just tweet your name a second time. And here's the final flag that will let you out and get you free. Hello world and welcome to Hacks. We are back with the advent of cyber on TryHackMe, and today we are looking at day 11, memory forensics. Not all gifts are nice. I've not done much memory forensics before. In fact, I don't think I've done any, if I'm being honest. Besides that game we looked at yesterday where we had to manipulate the values in memory, I haven't done any memory forensics whatsoever. The story. The elves in Santa's Security Operations Center are hard at work checking the monitoring dashboards when Alf McDave, one of the workshop employees, knocks on the door. The elf says,
"I've just clicked on something and now my workstation is behaving in all kind of weird ways. Please can you take a look?"
Alf McSkitty tasks you, Alf McBlue, to investigate the workstation. Running down to the workshop floor, you see a command prompt running some code. Uh-oh, this ain't good. You immediately create a memory dump of the workstation and place this dump onto your employee-issued USB stick, returning to the SOC for further analysis. You plug the USB into your workstation and begin your investigation. So, what is memory forensics? Memory forensics is the analysis of volatile memory that is in use when a computer is powered on. Computers use dedicated storage devices called random access memory to remember what is being performed on a computer at the time. RAM is extremely quick and is the preferred method of storing and accessing data. However, it is limited compared to storage devices such as hard drives. This type of data is volatile because it will be deleted when the computer is powered off. RAM stores data such as your clipboard or unsaved files. We can analyze a computer's memory to see what applications or processes, what network connections were being made, and many more useful pieces of information. For example, we can analyze the memory of a computer infected with malware to see what the malware was doing at the time. Let's think about cooking. You normally store all of your food in the fridge. A hard drive is the fridge. When you are cooking, you will store all of the ingredients on the kitchen counter so that you can quickly access them, but the kitchen counter RAM is much smaller than the fridge or hard drive. The author of the room then goes on to explain why memory forensics is useful. For instance, if you've got an infected computer, you can dump the memory so that if the computer accidentally gets yanked from the wall or the hacker identifies that he's being investigated, then he can erase his tracks, so to speak. So having an image of the memory at the time of the infection is a good way to identify what's actually going on. And then it talks about processes, and it says how there are like two different types of processes. There are user processes, which the user starts, that could be text editors, and then there are background processes which the operating system starts, which are essential for the functioning of the operating system. And then it goes on to talk about a tool that we can use to analyze memory, and it's Volatility. It's an open source memory forensic toolkit written in Python. Volatility allows you to analyze memory dumps taken from Windows, Linux or Mac OS devices. It's an extremely popular tool in memory forensics. For example, Volatility allows us to list all processes that were running on the device at the time of capture, list active and closed network connections, use Yara rules to search for indicators of malware. I believe I've used Yara before on I think it was the SOC learning path, retrieve hash passwords, clipboard contents and contents of command prompt, and much more. Once Volatility and its requirements, i.e. Python, are installed, Volatility can be accessed by using Python 3 vol.py. The terminal below displays Volatility's help menu, and we can replicate this in here, cd into the Volatility directory and then do Python 3 vol.py Y and then type -H, and you can see we have a lot of information. There are a number of different arguments we can use. -F, this argument is where you provide the name and location of the memory dump that you wish to analyze. -V, this argument increases the verbosity of volatility. This is sometimes useful to understand what volatility is doing, so fairly standard for -V. -P, this argument allows you to override the default location of where plugins are stored. -O, this argument allows you to specify where extracted processes or DLLs are stored. And finally, we need to decide what we want to analyze for the image. Volatility uses plugins to perform analysis such as listing processes, listing network connections, listing contents of clipboard, notepad or command prompt, and much more. If you're curious, you can read the full documentation here. And in this task, we are going to use volatility to see what operating system the memory dump is from, to see what processes were running at the time of capture, to see what connections were being made at the time of capture. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be using volatility to analyze an image and determine what the operating system is. And to do that, we're going to use the plugin image info, and it's given us the exact command that we need to put there. Do we have a clipboard on here? We don't. So I'm just going to split the window quickly. vol.py -f workstation no tab complete vmem, and I'm going to do Windows info, and we're going to see what's going to happen here. It seems to be processing. This may take a while, so
One eternity later.
and we have our results back in, and you can see that it took a while to complete, but it's given us a bunch of information about the operating system. And what we're looking for, I believe, is the NT major version, which is 10. So if we come down to the answers, we can pop in there 10 and click submit, and we get the correct answer. So now that we have identified the operating system is Windows, we can use that information to use the Windows subset of plugins with volatility. The plugins that are going to be used in today's task are in the table below. Windows plist, I assume this lists the processes. Windows PS scan, this plugin allows us to analyze specific processes further. Windows dump files, this plugin allows us to export processes where we can perform further analysis. Windows NT stat, and this is going to be a plugin that allows us to list all network connections. This is going to show us all the processes, and I believe the next question is going to ask us what was the binary gift that Santa left, so we can deduce from what we're trying to do here that it wants us to analyze the processes to find out what the binary was. So Python 3 vol.py -f workstation .vmem windows.ps list. So it's finished, and we now have a list of processes, and we can see we've got some very generic processes. I'm just looking for one that stands out. dwm.exe potentially. No. Okay, I couldn't see the tree through the forest, or the forest for the trees, or whatever it is. It's right there. It's mysterygift.exe, so my apologies for that one. mysterygift.exe. Click submit. Mystery has a Y on the end of that one, Joe. Hey, submit. Jumping straight into the next question, it asks what is the process ID or PID of this binary, and we see here if we scroll up we've got PID, PPID, so we know it's the first one, which should be 2040, so I'm just going to answer that. 2040, click submit, and it's right. And the last question asks us how many files are dumped when we dump the contents of the binary, and it's given us instructions there to dump by the process ID, so I believe we just need to swap that out and not use that process ID like I just did in order to work out the files. So I actually tried to pull them into a files.txt by doing the line by doing pipe t-a to files.txt and then doing a line count of all the files, and it came to 106, which wasn't the correct answer because there's only room for 2. It was because I was dumping the wrong process. Python 3 vol.py -f workstation.vmem windows.dump files -- process ID, and then we can choose our process ID, the correct process ID of 240, and hopefully we're only going to get 10 files, or but less than 100 files would be nice. Go progress. Now that is a much better result than the one I had previously, where I actually dumped the process ID which they specify in the example. So I dumped 4640, and yeah, that's about 106 files there, which yeah was the wrong answer because it only gives you room for 2. So let's do our counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, complete. And that's it. That's our room complete for the day, for the day. And that was memory forensics. Obviously, there's going to be a far lot more to it than this. This is just scraping the surface of forensics, and it only focused on Windows. I'm sure Volatility, is that right? Volatility has Linux capabilities as well. And this is something I wouldn't mind doing a bit more, learning a bit more about. Hopefully I can find some more challenges on it. I hope you liked it. I hope it helped you get through it. And I hope you didn't make the same mistake I did of trying to count all the files from this process, because that would have just taken forever. If you did like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Kind regards.